In this video, we're going to look at linear inequations. So you should be familiar now with what an equation is, and basically that is anything with an equal sign is an equation. An inequation is basically the same as an equation, but instead of an equal sign, we have an unequal sign or an inequality sign. So just the key ideas, first of all, this phrase here, left-hand side, right-hand side. And this symbol here means greater than. So how you would read that is the left-hand side is greater than the right-hand side. Now, one way you can remember it, and there's all different ways you can do it. So if this doesn't suit you, maybe think of something else that would suit you. So let's just picture a crocodile, and we don't have blue crocodiles, so let's change the color to green. So we have a green crocodile. Okay, and the crocodile has big teeth, then obviously the crocodile has big green teeth. Okay, and you can draw the crocodile if you like, but I think it's the worst crocodile I've ever seen. But the important thing to note is this inequality sign that forms its mouth. Okay, so pen's not behaving. There's its inequality sign. So obviously the crocodile, being very hungry, wants to eat the larger side. Okay, so the larger part, or whatever the crocodile is biting, so see how this side is bigger? It is looking at the smaller side, and then behind we have the smaller side. Now it's not always going to be that case, because you could have an inequality sign facing the other. Oops, that was exactly the same direction, wasn't it? Silly me. Facing the other direction. So obviously the crocodile, and let's have a black one now because we know what a crocodile looks like. You can imagine it looks exactly like this, doesn't it? Okay, so there it is. It's about, and don't forget the eyes, because it's not I always drew my eyes like this when I was little. There we go. It looks like a crocodile. So now the crocodile is biting the larger side here. Okay, and obviously the side is smaller. So if you think of, and that's how I remember it, that's how I was taught in high school, and that's how I've remembered it ever since. The only difference is, and let's do this in blue, is you can also have a line underneath. Okay, we might do this in a new color. So you can see here, this one has a line underneath, and this one has a line underneath. When you have that line underneath, it means it's equal to, could be equal to. Okay, so let's just say this one or this one. Both of them mean greater than. Okay, so the left-hand side is greater than the right-hand side. Whoops. And that's how we read it. I mean, in English, we read left to right. So the left-hand side is greater than the right-hand side. But this one also means or equal to. And a good example I like to use with you guys is maybe a netball team. Okay, so if you've played netball, you have 7 players on a netball team. So netball has 7 players. Now, if you've played netball before, you will know that you can have 5 players. Okay, if you have 5 players, usually you can get rid of your wing attack, bye-bye, and your wing defense. And you're still allowed to play the game. So if you're going to play, you can have greater than or equal to 5. Or we'd put that around the other way. Let's be greater than or equal to 5. Okay, so we can have 6, we can have 7, or we can have 5, but we can't have 4, 3, 2, 1. So that means we can also put on this side 6 and 7 is greater than 4, 3, 2, 1. And a lot of sporting games are like that. So you might play soccer and know the minimum number of players you have to have on a team. Football, you have to have a certain minimum number of football players, but you can't have more. So let's just say 18 players on a football team. You can't have 19 on there. I'm not sure what the minimum is. I'm not that into football, but basically that's what an inequality is. Okay, you have a range of values and there's some sort of restriction on them. Okay, so this one, let's just have a look at the examples in the textbook. Okay, so 5 is bigger than 2, yes. 7 is greater than or equal to 7, that is true because it is equal to. Or 10 is greater than or equal to 7, yes, that is true. 2 is less than 10, yep. 5 is less than or equal to 5, yes, that's true. 2 is less than or equal to 5, that is true. And just remember, you can reverse them. So 3 less than or equal, less than x is the same as x is greater than 3, because remember the crocodile eating the bigger side, so the crocodile is still facing the larger side, it's just facing the other direction. Now we also represent them on a number line, okay, and the good thing about representing it on a number line is you can see the range of values, because unlike in a netball match where you have to have 5, 6 or 7 players, in reality, you can't have 5.5 players and stuff like that. So you might be looking at a range of values. So maybe the amount of money that has to be spent. So it can range between $5.50, something like that. So okay, sorry, I just got interrupted there. So let's go back to the number line. So you can see here, we're looking at x is greater than 5. So we use a closed circle whenever we want to include that value. So x is greater than or equal to 5. So the closed circle indicates that 5 is included. And then anything greater than 5 is true. Okay, so that red arrow indicates what we want. This other one here is x is less than 6. So because it's less than but not equal to, so there's no line underneath, we use an open circle. So all this information here is important to put into your bound reference, because some students get confused between whether it's a closed or an open circle. So this diagram here gives a perfect example of what it should be. You can also have a limit. So this one here obviously keeps going, but in the netball example, let me just quickly draw my number line. Come on, pencil. Okay, so we'll just do 5, 6, 7, 8. So the players on a netball team, you can have 5, so I'm going to close that circle, and you can have up to 7. So close that circle and then a line in between. So this basically means I can have 5, 6 or 7, but I can't have anything bigger than 7 and I can't have anything lower than 5. All right, I'm going to stop there because I think it's a good idea to put this information into your bound reference before we start doing some questions.